Hey there, OB Podcast is back. I recently came across some thoughts shared online and I felt compelled to address them. So buckle up, we've got it right today. But first, I want to say let's start by acknowledging the hard work, sweat, and fighting. And also dedication of African Americans who played a pivotal role in shaping this country. So, this lady couldn't understand why, especially Nigerians, wouldn't be grateful for what the Black Americans have done to foster, I think I'll say, Black success of today. So let's just jump straight into the video. Then I'll give my thought at the end.
The only reason why your black ass would be able to come over to America and be able to do anything is because of the hard work, the blood, the sweat, the fighting, and the dedication of African Americans who on this soil changed this land. African Americans are the ones who got this country integrated. Let me explain something to you. White people in this country did not give us anything. We have had to take. And this is why you see.
She's enraged.
This is why you see what is going on in the news and the media right now. We took in the 1960s what it is that we had. We took their lynchings, their terrorizing, their burning down of our neighborhoods, and we continue to rebuild and revisit and retwist and re-rise up what it is that we have done in this country. And the only reason why anybody can bring their black ass over here from another mother effing country is because what Black Americans have done on this land. And I'm saying this as a person who is bicultural, whose father is not American, doggone it. My father is an immigrant, and he was able to come over to this country and do something in this country because of the Black people who fought, who died, who bled, who were lynched on this land. So don't sit your black ass over there in some other goddamn country talking about what you would do in America. The only reason why your black ass could even get the F over here is because of what we have done. Doggone it. Listen to what it is that I'm saying.
Okay.
The reason why people are able to get onto the radios in America is because what Black Americans have done, the culture that we have created with nothing. Nothing. We have been given nothing. Everything that we have in this country, we have because we have taken. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. So don't sit your black ass over there in your country where you're not doing what you need to do with your government. If anything, you should feel inspired by African Americans. Inspired to pick up your picket sign and take your ass off your seat and go out there in the streets and protest in your damn land.
Yep. We should fix our country, you know.
Listen to what it is that I'm saying, because I was over there in Nigeria. I walked the streets of Lagos, Abuja, and where was it that I was? It was not Owerri. I was in, I'll just say Igbo land. I walked the streets and I saw what it was and I saw what it was like. And I talked to Nigerians, and part of the issue is that there is a docility that exists inside of the average Nigerian that I spoke to. Had a complacency and a docility that exists in there when it comes to their government. And then, right, the nerve of anyone to suggest that because of the type of trauma that you experience your country, the type of brainwashing that you exist in your country is different than the type of trauma and brainwashing that we have existed in this country, that somehow that makes you better? No. Part of the reason that Nigeria looks the way that it is right now is because Europeans ran roughshod over that country. Europeans ran roughshod over Nigeria.
What they did...
took down your symbols and put up their own, implanted you with their religion, have you worshiping white skin. And then after they sucked and siphoned from the country enough, then they started implanting the leaders that they wanted, who would fulfill their white supremacist agenda.
Of course.
And so now you have government officials who don't give a good goddamn about the average Nigerian.
They're called puppets,
because
folks.
they take their money and they put their money abroad and they leave you there without lights 24 hours a goddamn day. Meanwhile, they got lights. I've been to Banana Island. I see what rich Nigerians live like. Speaking of which, if I were to come to Nigeria with my American mindset, I would be rich in Nigeria. Because I'm not from Nigeria and I don't have the same type of indoctrination that Nigerians have. So when you start trying to say that you will come over to America and do all this, that, and bravo, because you've been trained in a different way. If I went to listen, I was in Nigeria 3 weeks before I made it over to Banana Island. And when I spoke to one of my Nigerian friends, I didn't realize how difficult of a thing that is for the average Nigerian. So don't sit there and start talking about how you would do so much different. If anything, this is the time right now that we need to come together. Instead of being in your colonial programming and mindset, instead of that, release those shackles. Release those shackles and realize that what African Americans are doing and have done in this country is remarkable. It is revolutionary. We have changed this world, goddammit, because if it wasn't for African Americans, black people would still be in the goddamn zoo. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. Listen, we are all African. My ancestors were kidnapped Nigerians and kidnapped Ghanaians. We are all African, all of us. So don't be jealous because our ancestors were stolen and yours were left back there. Did you want to go through this here? Did you want to? Did you want to go? Listen, by the time slavery on this soil ended, there were 600,000 rape babies on this land. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. 600,000. That doesn't even count the amount of children that were fed to alligators. It doesn't count the amount of children from backbreaking work who were never born. 600,000 more. You want to know how many rapes have to exist for 600,000 of those to result in a pregnancy, and then under those hard conditions for it to result in the birth of a baby? You want to know how many rapes had to take place? Listen, don't be jealous because of what it is that we have done. I have a blue passport because my family was born on this godforsaken land. And I am going to get everything that is due by my birthright of this nation, me. But I'm not going to discount the experience of another person who is more mentally enslaved than I am. I speak about this all the time. And you all know, listen, I love my Nigerian people. I do. Like I said, I'm genetically Nigerian. You look at my father, you see an Igbo man. However, my father was not born and raised on this funky land. He was not born and raised in the mental slavery, the drudgeons thereof that have enslaved mentally the people who are on this land, some of them. Because many of them have risen to be able to get us the level of human rights that we have now. And still, every 20 to 30 hours, a black person is murdered by the police in this country. And then you see we got effing vigilantes out there killing black people too. Karens harassing us when we just try to live.
Oh, them Karens.
We got your bubbas and your rednecks hunting us down when we try to jog and exercise. We got hooded men who came by, poured gasoline on the things that we have built and burnt them to the ground. And we got more hooded men who put on badges every day, gavels in their hand, scalpels in their fingers, and steering wheels in their palms. We have policymakers in this country whose forefathers wore hoods and them who still have the hooded heart. And when I say hooded, I'm talking about the Klan, baby. Listen to what it is that I'm saying. So no, don't sit over there in some foreign land talking about what it is that you would do in America, because if you were born on this land entrenched in the funk and the foulness that exists on this land, you would be just as mentally enslaved, just as mentally entrained as the people who are here. So don't So don't think that because your trauma is different than ours, that there's something better about your trauma. Because if anything, just the mere fact that you even dream, that you salivate of going to another land, shows and tells that there's something going on yours that needs to be fixed.
Of course.
So rather than going off and talking about all of the things that you would do in America, please do them in Nigeria. Fix your government, rise up, do whatever it is that you need to do on your land. It's time that we came together, and it's like there's so many people out there who are puppets and arbiters for white supremacy, puppeting racist ideals and racist ideas that they've been taught by the supremacist regime. And part of the issue is, and I'm going to say this and then I'm going to get out. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to jump off the video. In America, our racism is overt. They try to dog whistle it every once in a while, but it's overt. You can see from the numbers, you can see from the way Black people are treated. It's overt here. Where colonialism existed, it's insidious and it's silent. You don't really know that it's there, but you know, it's like you feel like the frog in the water where the heat is turning up slowly. You don't know what it is, but you're feeling uncomfortable. So that it's so much easier for you to sit on the internet and talk about what you would do in America, fantasizing about the rights and the privileges that have been gained off the backs of the same people that you disrespect, rather than getting up off your ass and doing that in your own land. Listen, if anything, I prefer the racism of the United States to the racism that exists in the UK, to the colonial mindset that exists in many African countries and in Caribbean islands. I prefer it because these people, they don't mince words. They tell you how they feel. They show you how they feel with their policy. Meanwhile, in other countries, it's silent and deadly because you're sitting there. Listen, we talked about this when I was in Nigeria. Monthly salary. What was the monthly salary when we talked? $150 per month?
Yep.
150 US per month in Nigeria. I think the salary was $30 a week. I was at a hotel where I was spending $160 a day. That was half a month's pay for the man who took my money. Half a month's pay. This is not stuff that I am theorizing about. This is stuff that I have seen. So it's like, yes, people think that we complain and that we moan and bemoan. People think that we are dissatisfied and we're always complaining and we're harping and this, that, and the other. That's because there's inequality. That's because there is an infringing on human rights. That's because there's a disparity that exists in this land. And so we speak up about it and we let our voices be heard. Does it get annoying for people to have to hear you complain over and over again? I'm sure it does get annoying, but it gets stuff done. People over here talking about the riots. Oh, people are paying attention though, right? Because how many people will sit silently as people march peacefully, but start damaging some stuff, and then now all of a sudden ears perk up. It's on the main news. It's broadcasted worldwide. So yes, listen, instead of sitting there salivating about what's going on and the opportunities that were created in other countries, listen, go do your damn research. It wasn't but 55 years ago that we integrated. Black people and white people could not be in the same spaces. They had funky, wretched, unclean bathrooms for us. hot ass, dirty ass, lead filled water for us. Meanwhile, refrigerated water for the white people, clean bathrooms for the white people, police to serve the white people. I mean, you still see how they're calling the police on us because they know, oh yeah, if I call the police on your black ass, they're going to believe me and not you. So if left up to the devices of of the average white supremacist in this country, there wouldn't be nothing for you to come over here for.
Well, this lady definitely speaks facts, and we all have to reflect on ourselves, Africans, Black Africans, and Nigerians in particular. Instead of us fantasizing about what could be done in America, I think, we should rise up in our own country, address the issues, challenge the system, and be an agent of change. I mean, if we all unite against injustice, we can create a better world for everyone. So, I would like to say that let's remember that we are all Africans at heart, including the Black Americans. So I think it's time to unite, acknowledge each other's struggles, and work towards a world where equality prevails. This is Obi Podcast signing off. I would like to know your thoughts in the comments below. Cheers.